Hi, and thanks again for watching another Replica airguns video. And in this video we're going to look at two Makarov. These are Baikal Makarov MP-654K. These are 4.5 millimeter BB guns. Now I've done a full review, or at least a tabletop review, of this nickel one here, and this was my original Makarov, and I bought this about 4 or 5 years ago. And we're just going to do a little bit of a comparison because they're not only different in color, but they're different in year. And that makes a little bit of a difference. Now, if you really want to get a lot of details on some of the differences, make sure to check out BFG Guns YouTube channel, and I'll put a link to his video. So he has a 1999 version, and he compares it to a 2009 version. And in this case, this is a 2009 version. And you can tell, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but if you look at the serial number, you can see on this one it's T09, and so what that means is it's a 2009 model. If it said 99, it would be a 1999 model. And on this particular model here, hopefully you can see it, it's a T04, so that's 2004. So neither one of mine is actually the 1999 model, so none of these are going to be exactly like his. And you know, any company has the privilege or the right to make changes to any of their guns. One thing that I really quickly want to dismiss though is with the newer guns, you can see here that they've got a few different markings that have been left off. And the reason for these markings not being on the 2004 model is because they probably weren't really importing these, or at least this particular gun, into places like Germany, or maybe the markings didn't have to be on there at that time. I'm not sure. But now air guns have to sport certain markings like this F here to get into Germany, and I'm not sure what the HW stands for, but there's a rumor out there that anything with these markings is made in China. I've looked at these guns side by side, and there's absolutely no way that this gun's made in China. They're literally identical with a few exceptions because they're several years apart. Alright, so what's a little different about these guns? Well, on mine anyways, and the funny thing is, this particular gun isn't exactly the same as this gun, and it's not the same as the 1999 version. There's just differences in all of them, and you can see here, I'll show you the obvious differences. On my 04 model here, there's the little ring here for attaching something to it if you want to actually put, say, a strap on there or something. And on this model here, you can see it's not on the grip. Both of the grips are a little bit different in texture. This one's a little shinier, a little harder plastic. This one's a little softer. It's still a hard plastic, but it's more of a matte finish. One thing that's really obvious, I'll just close this up, is you can see here that the barrels are a little bit different. It's maybe a little hard to see, but you can see that this one goes a little more straight, and then it's got a droop right here. So if you can see that, it droops down, it's more straight, whereas this particular, actually I said barrel, but the slide, so this slide is actually more contoured and cut away. Now does that make a difference? Not much. Another thing that you might notice on these two guns, if you can see it, is that, I'll try and get in here, the slide is actually slightly thicker on this one, and you can see it sort of right in here a little bit. Hopefully you can see that. I'll just move them around, wiggle a little bit. They're both very heavy, solid metal slides. Now these guns, like I said in my first video, my other videos on the Makarovs, these guns are made literally side by side in Russia beside the real Makarovs, and they share like 90% of the same parts as you'd find in the real Makarov. Let's take the magazines out really quickly. Now I just did a shooting review, and I'm going to actually pull up that one and show you the target that I shot at. But the magazines are pretty close. What's interesting is that what happens is when you load them, it's kind of hard to do. When you load these things, you just sort of pop it in the groove. It makes loading a bit easier. Well, the grooves are on the other sides. Does that make a difference? I don't think so. Pretty much the same magazines. So pretty much everything about these guns, or almost everything about these guns, is literally the same. Very few differences. We are selling this Makarov, or this particular one here, on our website. At this time it's selling for about $350. That might seem like a lot of money, but it's a very well made BB gun. It's very hard to find brand new in North America. They're very hard to import. They are listed on the website. Sometimes we're out, sometimes we have them. So if you're interested in one of these, send us an email and we'll give you a quote and let you know if there's product available. If you're looking for a very unique, extremely well made, and I say replica BB gun, but it's literally a copy that just happens to shoot BBs. Okay, so let's take a look at the target just to see how this gun did. Alright, so we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and what's interesting is we had 4 grouped right here. So the gun wanted to shoot right in this pocket right here. You know, a little bit of a spread. Now I was just shooting this from a standing position, a non-rested position from 20 feet away, and this is the first time I shot this gun, but it did tend to want to shoot in this nice little pocket right here. So I have a feeling that this gun, you know, with a little bit of use will sweeten up a little bit and shoot a little tighter groups than that, but still not bad. Now I didn't mention some of the specifications about this gun, but it is a BB gun, 4.5mm, CO2 as you can tell, 13 rounds in the magazine, shoots just under 400 feet per second, about 380 feet per second, and again, made by Baikal in Russia. Now it's not a blowback BB gun, but still, everything about it is very, very realistic, including how the slide operates and even how it field strips. Alright, so thanks again for watching my videos. Take care.